Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell, episode number 17. We host Rashad Mitchell, the first episode in the month of September. Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell comes out every single Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyles, streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Let's get into it. Right now, we got the NFL season that began this a while ago. We got a good one so far in the first quarter. Ravens and Chiefs are tied at 7-7. Xavier Worthy scored on a 21-yard rushing touchdown. So welcome to the NFL. Rookie Xavier Worthy out of Texas Longhorns scores his first touchdown in NFL. And Xavier Worthy ran for a 21-yard touchdown after Derrick Henry scored his first touchdown as a Raven. They went up 7-0 the Ravens, and now we are tied. Chiefs responded. So 5:55 to go, 7-7. Tie game between the Ravens and the Chiefs. All right, so let's get into it, man. It's gonna be a good show today. Let's get into first and foremost the college football. College football, most of the teams played last week, and let's get into the recap of what took place last week. The storyline is what's going on at Florida State. Florida State's now 0-2 on the season after being upset by Georgia Tech 24-21 this past Monday night. They lose convincingly at home 28-13. So this Florida State program is in shambles right now, in dire straits. They don't have a win right now. There's a lot going on. That's not good. If you're a Florida State fan, you're a Florida State fan, you're definitely not pleased with the results of what's going on this for during this young season. Now it looks like their hopes of a playoff opportunities on life support, and that's what it looks like. You know, they just not looking good right now. DJ Ukulele, the quarterback of Florida State. Now this is his third program that he's played for in college football. He started as a highly touted football player at quarterback position coming out of high school, but Clemson has not played well with Oregon State. Now he's with Florida State, and he has not distinguished himself as a big time quarterback. Obviously, he can't do it by himself, but he's just not doing his thing. He's not performing well. He definitely underperformed on Monday night, only leading that team to 13 points. That's not good enough. But give credit to Boston College. That was an upset, a big win for University of Boston College. They're not used to beating no top 10 teams, but he was able to get it done. Trayshawn Ward was the college. Bill O'Brien is the new coach of this team, and he began very well with a big win for him of the O'Brien era. Trayshawn Ward had 38 yards of offense, a 13-yard touchdown reception against his former team. Actually, Trayshawn Ward was a Florida State player. He's a Tampa native who played with Florida State from 2019 to 2022. He had 77 yards rushing, 61 yards receiving, as the Eagles total 263 yards rushing. They ran the ball very well down the throat of Florida State. And that's the same thing that happened to them a week before against University of Georgia Tech. They gave up a lot of yards on the ground, and they was able to have an inability to stop the run. And now they dealt with the same thing again. So give credit to Boston College. They are a team that put on a big performance. They had great drives offensively, 71 yards, 68 yards, and 60 yards. And Max Tucker for the defensive back of Boston College had an interception in his 58-yard return set up Eagles on a goal line of Florida State for another touchdown. So they definitely outplayed and outclassed the Seminoles, who had a lot of expectations. This is a team that program that could have made it to the playoffs last year. They got counted out, wasn't able to get in. But you thought there'd be a team that was on a mission. But this is a different team. And then remember, most of their players that was on last year's team are in the NFL. Jordan Travis, I think he's in the NFL. I He's on the NFL roster, but he was the quarterback last year. Jarrett Verse, Keon Coleman, guys like that. Some of them players they in the NFL. I think this is a different Florida State team. I don't know how many stars returned this year, but every year it has different football teams, especially with the transfer portal. Um, you're gonna see different faces on the team. So that's the thing that stands out for us. That's concerned. But give credit where it's due to Boston College. They won the game. Well, Florida State has a bye week. They'll play next time on September 14th. Boston College will host Duquesne, but that was a big win for the University of Boston College, knocking off Florida State. That's a big storyline after the first 2 weeks, week 0 and week 1. So what's going on with Florida State? They now 0-2 in the season. So that's the storyline on that. Continue on with the overview of what took place in week 1. Obviously, Georgia showed why they are number 1 for a reason. They blew out Clemson. It was definitely not the same program as it used to be. Maybe it's something about them not that was really not utilizing the transfer portal to get players, because that's what you gotta do in today's college football. You gotta get recruits, but you also gotta get transfer portals that's gonna help your team better in the long run. That's what it's about. As they lost 34-3, a dominant performance by Georgia. Georgia showed why they are the best team in college football, why they are number 1. In statement games like this, in the athletic kickoff in Georgia, this game was very, very close. I mean, it was 6-0 for the most part in this game. Like the first half, it was nothing but defense. Georgia played defense very well as Clemson. There was no touchdowns offensively for both teams, but in the second half, it was a whole different story. That's what University of Georgia did. He was able to manhandle Clemson in the second half. And again, you got to play 60-minute football, and once you make these adjustments, the second half is going to be a different story, and that's what you saw. You watched the game with Carson Beck, who I think is going to win the Heisman this year. I think Georgia's going to win the national championship. They showed it for the first week of the season. Carson Beck threw for 278 yards, including a couple touchdowns, a pair of touchdowns, and the defense was strong and stout, didn't allow a touchdown. The thing about this team is that this Georgia team, I believe, has won 40 straight in the regular season. They don't lose in the regular season. That's why I got them winning the whole thing, winning that championship. The defense was outstanding. They held Clemson to 188 yards. Malaki Starks showed why he's one of the top defensive backs. Made a leaping, leaping high and twisting his body to make a interception in the fourth quarter. So Frazier, the freshman, had an impressive start. He had 83 yards, including a 40-yard run. Frazier, let's look at his first name, Nate Frazier, and he was able to show his skill set and talent as they won going away 34-3 neutral field. And again, what else can you say about this Georgia team? This team is big time. They got again transfers like Kobe Young, who used to play at the University of Miami, scored his first touchdown. Humphreys caught 2 passes for 63 yards, including a touchdown as well. I believe he scored a touchdown. So they definitely know how to get it done as far as getting transfers to go with the recruits that they have at their disposal. So also they didn't have Trevor Etienne. They still was able to win. It was stemming from an off-season rest. So the depth definitely was on point. So Georgia will play Tennessee Tech next Saturday, and Clemson will try to get their first win against Appalachian State this coming Saturday night. I think they won their 40th straight regular season game, I believe. Check their winning streak regular season. It gotta be 40 straight. Has to be. Check. Yeah, 40 games in a row. That's a school record. They got a 40 game regular season winning streak, 40 in a row. After what they did to Clemson, that 40 in a row. And the thing about Georgia is that they had not lost a regular season game. You got to go back 4 years ago, 2020, on November 7th. They lost to Florida 44-28. Since then, they've been rolling along, winning 47 out of their last 49 games. And that's impressive when you talk about college football, especially when you come out of the SEC and being that dominant, man. That's what it's about. Yeah, London Humphreys, he scored on a touchdown, 40-yard touchdown. London Humphreys, he's a transfer from Vanderbilt, and Kobe Young scored on a touchdown. So this Georgia team showed why, self-explanatory, why they are the best team. They are the number one team in the country for a reason. They did against an underachieving program that keeps declining before our eyes with Clemson. No, Dabo Sweeney is a big time coach, but their team has not played well the last few years, and they're showing the decline with their performance against Georgia. Okay, so that's story on the line on the docket with that. Penn State beat West Virginia 34-12. I'll go over my picks of the week real quick. I was 4-1, I believe. Yeah, 4-1 with the picks of the week. Iowa shut out Illinois State. No surprise there, 40-0. Let's look at the standout games that stood out. What about the Hurricanes of Miami? Is the U back? I don't think they are back, but that was a big signature win for Mario Cristobal as the Hurricanes went to Florida and won 41-17 as the number 19 team in the country. Cam Ward, the new quarterback, new signal caller. Now again, they had Tyler Van Dyke, but he transferred from Wisconsin, and obviously they didn't miss Tyler Van Dyke as Cam Ward threw for 385 yards and 3 touchdowns. Show a lot of cool, calm, collected exterior and his ability to extend plays. That's the thing that stood out in this matchup. He was able to handle his business on the road and at the Swamp in his first start. Played very well, excellent. But again, I don't think the U is back. I think they got a lot of work to do. The schedule's pretty favorable, but I don't think they're back. They still got to play Florida State. Florida State will be hurt from before the season is over. They do got to play Duke, Georgia Tech, teams like that. So I don't not gonna put them in the national championship yet. They got a lot of work to do, but very impressive win for the Hurricanes on the road. Cam Ward, the quarterback, had a big time game. Became the first Miami Hurricane quarterback since at least 1979 to throw for 300 yards in his first start with the team. Xavier Restrepo played very well, scoring a 24-yard touchdown, 7 passes for 112 yards. Did a very great job. Jacoby George scored a touchdown. Defensively, the Hurricanes had 3 sacks on Graham Mertz. Only held him to 91 yards pass, so their defense looks very strong and stout. They did have an injury to one of their key players, defensive end Ruben Bain, who's a sophomore sensation this year. Had 7.5 sacks last year. Um, he's out, maybe out, a week, maybe two, with a soft tissue injury. So hopefully he'll be back. See what happens with that. But the Hurricanes made a statement. But again, it's only 1 week. Got to see more for the Hurricanes in order for me back to me. They got to win that championship, at least get to a playoff to show that they're on their way back. But I'm not going to put them in that championship yet. Got a lot of work to do. But that was an impressive win by the Hurricanes. Notre Dame beat Texas A&M 23-13. That was an impressive win going on the road. Won that game. That was interesting. What's shocking was Oregon. Oregon beating Idaho 24-14. What's going on with the offense of Oregon? They usually be a high power offense. Dylan Gabriel made his debut with the team, threw for 380 yards and 2 touchdowns, but they struggled mightily against Idaho of all teams, only putting up 24 points at home as they win 24-14. And also they extended its non-conference home winning streak to a national best 33 games, and Oregon has won 20 straight home openers. So they also a great start, 14-0, but it wasn't able to extend the lead and blow a team out like Idaho because they was a 44.5 point favorite. But they was very rusty, so they play Boise State this coming Saturday. Okay, Michigan won 30-10. Not surprised like that. That's basically it. And also, one more thing, what other games stood out? LSU and USC non-conference matchup. USC put off a big win last Sunday night, winning 27-20. Number 23 USC knocking off number 13 LSU. That was a very good game. Woody Marks scored a game-winning go-ahead touchdown with 8 seconds left. as they won that game 27-20. Big win for Lincoln Riley as a coach, and big win for the USC Trojans. Miller Morris threw for 378 yards and a touchdown, and definitely got off to a great start as far as his performance is concerned. So that was a big time win. USC was now in the Big Ten, no longer a Pac-12 team. They were a Big Ten team, so that's good for the Big Ten to have a representation of USC win a game in that magnitude against a perennial powerhouse in LSU. So that's it for that. Like I said, that's it for the college football scores that took place last week. Quickly, let's get into the picks of the week that I had last week. Currently, I am 2-2 because I had a Florida State beating Georgia Tech. I was wrong about that. New Mexico beating Montana State. I was wrong about that. SMU over Nevada. I was right about that game. 1-2, and I was 2-2 with Hawaii over the Delaware State. Week one last week, Georgia beat Clemson. I was right about that. Notre Dame over Texas A&M. Miami over Florida. I was right about that game. LSU over USC. I was dead wrong about that game. Penn State over West Virginia. I was right. So overall, I am. Let's look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and see they added up. 6-3. 6-3 so far this year with the picks. 6-3 overall pick record. So I'm gonna give you my picks of the week for this week's games. Not that many good games, and I think the best game obviously is University of Michigan against the University of Texas. That's gonna be a huge game. You got Big Ten versus SEC, just like last week. Um, LSU playing USC, Big Ten versus SEC matchup. Now you got another matchup between the Big Ten and SEC with Michigan, the defending champions, against University of Texas. Rare you see a matchup like that magnitude, as Texas is a representative of the SEC. So let's get into that. I think Texas is going to win this game. I love Texas. I'm not sold on Michigan this year. I don't think they're going to repeat. I like Georgia to win the national championship this year. That's asking a lot from Michigan with a new head coach, new quarterback, a lot of players that they had previous year in the NFL. So Texas, I got Texas over Michigan on the road. I got that as one of my picks. Let's fast forward to week two. The games that are going to be played. That's the best game. Obviously, that's game going to be on Fox at high noon. September 7th is coming Saturday, number 3 versus number 10. So I got Texas winning over Michigan. I like Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, they 2-0. We got them beating Syracuse. So that's another pick. Georgia Tech is ranked number 23 in the country. So I'm going with Georgia Tech over Syracuse on the road. That's the next game I got. Got Miami over Florida A&M. Florida A&M and Miami. I got Miami win that game. Okay. I got Tennessee over NC State. Number 14 Tennessee over number 24 NC State. So I'm going with Tennessee. Tennessee. That's the Mayo Classic kind of matchup. Tennessee over NC State. See what games I got. I think Oregon gonna bounce back big over Boise State. So I'm going with Oregon over Boise State. I think they're gonna play much better offensively. That's what I got. Oregon over Boise State. So that's the picks of the week. Again, I'm 6-3 so far with the picks of the week. I think this week I got Texas over Michigan on the road. That's the best game of the week. I got Georgia Tech over Syracuse, Miami over Florida A&M, Tennessee over NC State, and I got Oregon over Boise State. But the best game to watch, two best games, Texas and Michigan, obviously that's the best game. But also you got Oregon over Boise State. So those are my picks of the week for week 2 of the college football season. Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell, 17th episode, and keep moving. Okay, so that's it for that. All right, so that's it for the college football recap of things. Now it's time to get into some other sports to get into. Get some baseball. Get some baseball. Get some baseball, Major League Baseball recap. Then give you the memorable home runs book. Then get to the NFL preview of week 1 and picks of the week for the NFL games I got that will happen on this day in sports history, September 5th, which is today, and that'll be it. So let's get into some baseball. We're in September now, so everything's heating up. See who's gonna make it that run to the postseason, the wild card, division, all that good stuff. So once you get to September now, baseball really matters the most at this time of year. So let's look into the baseball standings. First, let's look into the scores. The Pirates are beating the Nationals in the top of the ninth, 9-4 with one out. The Rockies and the Braves. The Rockies are leading the Braves, beating the Braves right now. Rockies over the Braves 3-1, bottom of the ninth. The Angels are losing in the bottom of the fifth, 3-1 to the Rangers. Rangers over the Angels 3-1. The Padres are shutting out the Tigers 3-0 on top of the fourth. You had finals today. The Reds beat the Astros 1-0. Twins beat the Rays 4-3. Mariners beat the Athletics 6-4. Diamondbacks lost to the Giants 3-2. And the Phillies beat Marlins 5-2. Let's look at the standings. So far, it's very tight in the American League East. You got Baltimore 81-60. The Yankees are 80-60. They're like a half game out. Obviously, it's going to come down to those two teams. Everybody else don't have a chance. Boston 70-70. Tampa Bay 69-71. Toronto 67-74. In the American League Central Division, Cleveland clinging to a 4-game lead, 80-60 over Minnesota 76-64. But Kansas City's not out of it. Only 4 games, 4.5 out, 76-65. And you got Detroit 70-70. The worst team in the league, without question, is the White Sox of Chicago, 32-109. Then you got the American League West. You got Houston Astros, 75-65, but they're not playing good baseball right now. They have a 3-game losing streak, but they do have a 4.5 lead over Seattle, 71-70. Texas 67-73. Oakland is 61-80, and Angels are 58-81. Then you got the National League. Let's get into that. Got the red hot Philadelphia Phillies, 7.5 games up in the division, 84-56. Won 5 in a row. Over Atlanta, you got a 7.5 game lead over them. Braves are 76-63, but the Mets are looking great, man. They may be the highest team in the league right now. They won 7 straight. They're going to get that wild card, try to get that wild card. Obviously not going to win the division. There'd be a major collapse by the Phillies. But anyway, The Mets are 76 and 64, 76, 64, 8 games out, but they won 7 in a row. So I check the wild card standing, see if I can check that out. For Milwaukee in the Central Division of the National League, Milwaukee's 81 and 59, 9 games up over Chicago. And then you got the Dodgers 84 and 56, 4.5 games up over the Padres. So the team with the best record right now is a tie between the Dodgers and the Phillies, 84 and 56. That's the time for the best record in baseball. So it's very tight in some of these races, but let's look at the wild card. See if there's a wild card division I can see. Yeah, the wild card division. Okay, yeah, the National League. Mets are right there in the mix. They're only half game up behind. They're behind Atlanta, Arizona, and San Diego. So they're right there, half game. So they definitely get into the wild card. In the American League, the Yankees are at the top, the wild card race. So we'll see what happens. That's the storyline with the baseball. Let's get into some baseball book excerpts from the 101 memorable home runs. Let's get into that. Definitely going to read this till I get to the number one uh, baseball moment, or was like the greatest home run that was memorable. We're going to resume with number 57, Casey Stengel, KC Christians Stadium with serious shot. Let's see. Now, Casey Stengel was a man that was a manager once upon a time for the New York Yankees. He would win 7 World Series titles and 10 pins in 12 years. But back on September 17th, 1912, he made his debut at age 22 for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He collected 4 singles, walked once, drove in 2 runs, and stole 3 bases. Now let's get into why he's on this list. That's why he's on the list for a reason. Let's see. See, game three, he hit a game-winning home run. He made it easier on himself. This one went over the fence in right field. Stengel started blowing kisses to the fans at Yankee Stadium, thumbing his nose at the Yankees bench. So I think that's where it is. He christened the stadium, Yankee Stadium, the new Yankee Stadium. Okay, here it is, October 10th, in the new Yankee Stadium at the time. I believe this is in 1923. So the game tied at 4-4, 2 outs in the ninth. Stengel hit a line drive to left center field. The ball kept rolling all the way to the wall. Stengel ran the base as if he had a broken leg, but he kept running. Yankees players said later they could hear Casey saying to himself, "Go, Casey, go. Go, Casey, go." Around second, around third, heading for home. So Damon Runyon at the time was right for the New York American, scored the first World Series home run hit in Yankee Stadium. So look at he was like an inside the park homer. Yeah, that's what it looked like. Right, so that's number 57. Number 56, Eddie Matthews, Milwaukee Marlins saves series. Okay, man on second, 1 out, score is tied. Score is tied. Bottom of the 10th, the New York Yankees was leading the 1957 World Series 2 games to 1 over the Milwaukee Braves. So here comes Eddie Matthews, who hit 512 career home runs, was due up for Milwaukee. Hank Aaron, who would hit 755, was on deck. So Matthews often batted ahead of Aaron. They would combine to hit 863 homers from 1954 to 1966, the highest total for teammates in Major League history. In the 1920s and 30s, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig had hit 859 as teammates for the New York Yankees. So first base was open. It was on a Sunday in Milwaukee. Elvis Presley Teddy Bear is the big hit on the radio. 2 days before, Soviet Union Soviet Union launched an unmanned spaceship called Sputnik. Aaron had been the only Brave hitting in this World Series. He gave Milwaukee an early lead with a three-run homer in the second inning. So Matthews at the time in the regular season, during the regular season, had 32 home runs. He would hit more than 30 homers in 9 consecutive seasons, including smacking 40 or more dingers 4 times, leading the National League twice in the long run. Paul Garrett had also had a 9 season 30-plus homer streak. So by 1957, the only pure person to surpass that was Jimmy Fox, who had 30 homers in 12 consecutive seasons. So let's get to the gist of this moment. Okay, one perfect swing. Matthews turned the 1957 World Series around. The ball was high, far, going deep to right field, tying the series at 2 games apiece. He became, at the time, only the third player to hit an extra inning, game-ending homer in series history. So what he did in the World Series, hitting that home run, was a huge, huge moment. Extra inning. So that's it for that. Number 55, Yogi Berra, perfect inning, perfect ending. Excuse me, Yogi Berra. Let's get into him. What did he do? Okay, okay. It was Game 7 of the World Series in 1956. On October 10th, Yogi Berra was batting fourth. With 2 outs, Berra launched a drive deep to right field to silence the Ebbets field throne. In the third inning, again with 2 outs and one on, Berra slammed another homer deep to right. So he hit those 2 home runs. That was what it's all about. Right, number 54. Babe Ruth fitting finale for the game's greats. See what he did. He was batting third. See who was against. He hit a home run to right off of Guy Bush, who had been the Chicago Cubs lead bench jockey in 1932 World Series. That was the last time Bush had faced Ruth was 3 years earlier. He blasted a two-run homer with 713th. No, it's a two-run homer over everything in right at Forest Field, 714. That gotta be the moment that he was featured on this list on opening day. That might be wrong about that. Let me see. May 25th, 1935. I think that's the moment that stands out. Let's go by what I see. So let's move on from there to number 53, Fernando Tatis. Two for the record, but I think this is the moment is so big because in 1999 he hit 2 grand slams in the same game. That's why he's on this list. because no major leaguer had ever homered twice with the bases loaded in the same inning. Fernando Tatis did that. So it set a record for most RBIs in a single inning, which was 8. So Tatis will finish the season with career highs in homers 34, 107 RBIs. Now this was against the Dodgers, I believe, against the Dodgers, April 23rd, 1999. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, number 52, George Brett, historic battles with the Yankees. Double check that. Yeah, April 23rd, Tatis hit the first. He became the first major leaguer to hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning with the same pitcher. That's why he's on that list, and rightfully so. That's no monumental moment. That's number 50, 53rd greatest memorable home run. All right, number 52, George Brett, historic battles with the Yankees. It's basically like stuff they did in the postseason against the Yankees. Like he hit the home run off of Gossage. The first pitch that he saw from Goose Gossage, a 98-mile-per-hour fastball was hit to the third deck at Yankee Stadium. So it's basically what he did with the Royals, man. That's basically his history, his track record with the Yankees. He's with the Royals and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna get into that, but it's just mainly the home runs that he hit against them. Like in Game 3, homer to lead the Royals to a 4-3 win against the Yankees. I think that was in 1980. Hit 2 home runs lifetime against Goose Gossage. He hit upper deck, 3-run homer. So this basically that list, that number 52, is chronicling what he did against the Yankees, basically. Right. So number 51, I think this is a great one right here. This is a memorable one. Number 51, Mike Scioscia, an unlikely thumper. I remember this game. It was on October 9th, 1988, against the White Gooden and the Mets. It was the National League Championship Series. The Mets were leading 5-4 to 2 in game number 4. They were 2 outs from going up in the series. The Mets, 3 games to 1, and the White Gooden obviously was their main ace on the team. And this was a Mets team that could have won the championship. But what changed the series was when Mike Scioscia came with the bat on that day October 9th, 1988, in game number 4, as Dodgers trailing 4-2. He comes up to the plate, Socia, and delivers a big time home. I think it was a 3-run homer, I believe. That was huge. Let me see details of it. Because Mike Socia coming to this at bat, we had hit 35 home runs in 8.5 years in the major leagues, Mike Socia. So he wasn't known as a home run hitter, but that was one of the biggest homers in Dodgers history for him to do that. Yeah, hit a line drive to right field. That was it. That's what happened on that day. Okay, finally at number 50, Roberto Clemente, Pride and Fury of a Latino Legend. Let's get into that. Let's see. What game was this? Had to be in game 7. Okay, it was game 7 against the Baltimore Orioles, leading 1971 World Series. This game was played at Memorial Stadium where Baltimore was playing at. So he stepped to the plate facing Cuellar with the Aces. Let me see. Yeah, I'll find out the guy's first name. Cuellar. Mike Cuellar. Mike Cuellar. So, make long story short, this pitching matchup, this at bat, he tried to jam Clemente. So he lashed the pitch 390 feet over the left field wall at Memorial Stadium. And Clemente hit 240 career homers and was never considered a home run hitter. But this home run put the Pirates up for good. He was voted the most valuable player in the World Series. He hit a 414 batting average, 2 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. So that's number 50. So that's it. I'll resume with number 49 next week. Right, so let's get some NFL, National Football League, shall we? Let's get into it, shall I? Let's get into it. National Football League is here. Let's give you an update what's going on with the Chiefs and the Ravens. Right now, the Chiefs are winning 13-7. Harrison Buckner kicked a couple of field goals, 32-yard field goal, 31-yard field goal, as Kansas City leads 13-7. Ravens got the ball, 1st and 10 midfield, with 5:03 to go in the first half. Very close game. Not surprised. All right, so let's get into NFL season, man. NFL season is here. It's starting right now. So let's get into what you need to know this week. All right. First one was looking to the games this week, the schedule for week 1. That's the thing we want to get into. Okay. Look at the now. You got tomorrow game, which is ridiculous. It's going to be in Sao Paulo, in Brazil, which is ridiculous, between the Eagles and the Packers. This don't make no sense. This game should be played in America, not in South America, North America. So it's gonna be the first game played in South America, which is ridiculous. So it's gonna be a good game. Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, two playoff teams from last year. The Packers obviously established themselves late in the season, won a great run, and was able to go to the NFC division playoffs with the league's youngest team. Meanwhile, Philadelphia obviously went to the Super Bowl a year before they tried to get back. They got off to the 10-1 start, but they lost in the wild card game against Tampa Bay. Now they're trying to bounce back. Obviously, Saquon Barkley is a new addition to the Eagles, and then the Packers they got a new running back, Josh Jacobs. So you got two big time running backs. Um, May make the difference in this game. So you got that game on tomorrow night. Then on Sundays you got the Cardinals and the Bills. Obviously, keep your eyes on Buffalo. They don't have the service of Stephon Diggs, so they're gonna see who's gonna step up at wide receiver to replace him. Obviously, the rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. Making his debut against the Buffalo Bills. So see how he plays against the Buffalo defense, catching passes from Kyler Murray. The Patriots and the Bengals. That's going to be on CBS. The Vikings and the Giants. And the Giants will be playing their 100th season. I don't think the Giants are going to be that good. Well, I think they made 6, 7 games. But what's big about the Giants is that they're kicking off their 100th season of Giants football against the Minnesota Vikings at home. Now you look at this series. Minnesota leads the series 18-13. Last time these two teams met, obviously, was in a wild card game where the Giants beat Minnesota 31-24 on January 15, 2023. Obviously, keep your eyes on Justin Jefferson. He may be the best wide receiver in football. Like hit 1,000-yard mark and set an NFL record with the most receiving yards, 5,899 for a player's first 4 seasons. He had 12 catches for 133 yards and a touchdown. The most recent regular season meeting with the Giants on December 24th, 2022. Obviously, he's the richest non-quarterback in league history. Now you're gonna have to have chemistry with new quarterback Sam Darnold. You look at the Giants, obviously 27-year-old Daniel Jones has to step up. Has not established himself one of the best quarterbacks in football. He's been around for a while, for several years. He's coming off ACL surgery, had a poor season. He's number 6 overall pick, so he has to step it up and see if he can do that. Now keep your eyes on key matchups. Number one, the offensive line of the Vikings versus the Giants' defensive line. The Vikings have one of the best tackle tandems in the league with Christian Darrisaw on the left and Brian O'Neill on the right. But the interior remains a question with Blake Brandon, a new starter at left guard, and Ed Ingram returning for a third season at right guard, despite some rough stretches over the past 2 years. Also, keep your eyes on the offensive line of the Vikings against the defensive line of the Giants, led by Dexter Lawrence, who was a major disruptor against the Vikings 2 seasons ago. And now they've added 2-time Pro Bowl pick Brian Burns as an edge rusher, obviously 2022 number 5 overall pick Kayvon Thibodeau, who had 11.5 sacks. So keep your eyes on that matchup. Serious notes in this series between the Giants and the Vikings have won 8 of 11 since 2005. The Giants' most recent win, obviously, was in the wild card game 2022, gave them a 3-1 advantage in postseason games, including a 41-0 win in the NFC title game in 2000 at the old Giants Stadium. So the Vikings and the Giants haven't met in the season opener since 1969. Well, the Vikings have their season opener on the road for just the second time in the past 8 years. They lost at Cincinnati in 2021. Sam Darnold returns to MetLife Stadium with his fourth team. Originally, he was drafted by the Jets. So, Aaron Jones had 584 rushing yards over his last 5 games. Last season, Aaron Jones used to play with the Packers. Now he's a Minnesota Viking. Vikings safety Harrison Smith. He will begin his 13th season this coming Sunday. 13th season at age 35 is the oldest defensive back in the league who's on an active roster. He has 834 interceptions since entering the league. Tied with Patrick Peterson. Daniel Jones entered his sixth season having thrown for 12,112 yards and run for another 1,914. He's thrown 62 touchdowns and 13 rushing touchdowns. Keep your eyes on Devin Singletary. Obviously, he's going to be the one that's going to be replacing um, Saquon Barkley. He had 898 yards rushing last year when he was with the Texans. Wandale Robinson, keep your eyes on him. He led the Giants with 60 catches last season. Obviously, they got the rookie sensation, possibly in Malik Neighbors out of LSU. Okay, with Burns, he had 46 sacks, 59 tackles for losses since entering the NFL in 2019. Dexter Lawrence is one of six defensive linemen with 50 plus tackles each of his past 4 seasons. Inside linebacker Bobby Okereke played every defensive down last season, tied his career high with 149 tackles. Deontay Banks tied rookies. He was fifth with 11 pass defended. And Jason Pinnock had a career high 85 tackles in 23. The Giants have not scored in the first half of their season opener in Dable's first 2 seasons. So keep your eyes on Malik Neighbors. Obviously, he can beat you deep, turn short passes to big gains. Malik Neighbors, the rookie out of LSU with the Giants, keep your eyes on him. So that's just no storyline things you need to know about that matchup between the Giants and the Vikings. Titans and the Bears, they will be playing each other. Obviously, the debut of Caleb Williams, highly anticipated as the Bears face the Tennessee Titans at home this coming Sunday. Keep your eyes on Titans quarterback Will Levis. He went 3-6 as a rookie. Last season was 149 of 255 with 1,808 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. He has a brand new offense led by first-year coach Brian Callahan. So you got Calvin Ridley and Tyler Boyd at wide receiver. They got offensive line signing Lloyd Cushenberry, and they drafted J.C. Latham, the new left tackle. Obviously, keep your eyes on Caleb Williams, the #1 overall pick of the draft. They're going to be throwing to talented receivers like Pro Bowl receiver Kenan Allen. Keep your eyes on that connection. Matchup to keep your eyes on is the Tennessee Titans defense against Caleb Williams with new defensive coordinator of Tennessee, Denard Wilson. He loves to pressure quarterbacks, bringing blitzes from all directions. The Titans have two-time defensive lineman at Pro Bowl with the Pro Bowl Jeffrey Simmons against, and including rookie defensive tackle Devondre Sweat beside him. Outside linebacker Harold Landry has had double-digit sacks in each of his past 2 seasons. Now they got new cornerbacks like Jarius Sneed, Trevodi, excuse me, sorry about that. Trevodi Awuzie, even with Jamal Adams and Condre Diggs. Now, this will be the first time these franchises have opened a season against each other. The Titans are 4-2 on the road against the Bears and won their most recent visit to Soldier Field 27-21 on November 27, 2016. Also, look at the stats and stuff. Brian Callahan is the 20th coach in Titans history as the franchise starts its 65th season. The Titans are 32-32 in season openers. This will be the first time these franchises have opened a season against each other. DeAndre Hopkins has made a catch in 162 straight games for every game he has played since being drafted. It's the third longest streak to start an NFL career, behind only Marvin Harrison, 190, and Keyshawn Johnson, 167. So some of the stats. Keep your eyes on. J.C. Latham is set to become the first rookie as a Tennessee Titan to open the season at left tackle since Michael Ruse did in 2005. Quandre Diggs, safety of the Titans, has started 67 games in a row, tied for the third longest streak among NFL defenders, trailing only Kevin Byard, safety of the Bears, and defensive end of the Raiders, Max Crosby. Nick Folk is set to start his 17th season and second straight with the Titans. Keenan Allen makes his Bears debut after 11 seasons with the Chargers. DJ Moore set career highs in catches with 96 receiving yards with 1,364 and touchdown catches last season. So guys on that. And also Roman Dunzy, number 9 pick in the draft. Keep your eyes on him. Right, so that's a storyline on that. Panthers and the Saints. Not a great game, but keep your eyes on that game if you're interested in that. Got the Steelers and the Falcons, obviously. Russell Wilson will be starting. Get his first start. Jacksonville and the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa and Trevor Lawrence to meet in national champ title game rematch because Tua played with Alabama and Trevor Lawrence played with Clemson back in 2018. Texas and the Colts. Obviously, a lot of high expectations for the Texans. They be playing the Colts this coming Sunday. Players to watch on the Texans, obviously, keep your eyes on Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs. That's Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon. Those are two key guys that can definitely elevate this offense around CJ Stroud. Players to watch for the Colts, obviously, is Anthony Richardson, the quarterback. He was limited to only 4 games. He had season-ending surgery last October. See what he does this year, along with running back Jonathan Taylor. Key matchup to keep your eyes on this matchup is CJ Stroud against Indianapolis Colts secondary. The Colts' young, inexperienced secondary got exposed for what was a youth movement, but Indy general manager Chris Ballard didn't bring in much veteran help during the offseason, opting instead to see whether Blues offseason will help young players grow. So you're going to be tested dealing with CJ Stroud, Diggs, and those guys in that offense. And obviously, this is a division matchup for the AFC South because the road team won each of last season's games with the second for the AFC South crown on the final day of the regular season. So Indy hasn't lost 2 straight at home in this series. Indy is 5-0-1 against Houston from 2020 to 2022. The Texans are 5-21 all time when playing in Indianapolis. CJ Stroud led the NFL last season yards passing per game, 273.9. Touchdown to interception ratio, 4.60 to 1. I'm over 10 o'clock, so we're going over the NFL stuff, so be it longer than I expected. He became the 3rd player in 50 years to lead the league in both. Joe Mixon is one of 6 active NFL rushers with more than 6,000 yards on the ground. Houston signed free agent defensive end Danielle Hunter. He had 16 and a half sacks, 23 tackles for loss in 2023 with Minnesota Vikings. There's an interesting stat right here. Indianapolis Colts is winless in its past 10 season openers. The longest active streak in the NFL. No other team has gone more than 3 straight years without a win since 2020. Okay, that's it. Get that matchup. Okay, Ravens and the Chargers, they be playing at 4-5. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh's debut as a coach. That's going to be interesting how he turn that culture around, the Chargers. Broncos in Seattle. Bo Nix will make his start. Obviously, the Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns, that may be the best game this week, as far as that's concerned. Prescott, obviously, um, and Deshaun Watson going at it. And then you got, you know, obviously Tom Brady. This is his first time calling the game as a analyst for Fox. But you got a lot of talented players in this game, man. You got Miles Garrett on defense. You got obviously Michael Parsons on defense with the Cowboys. Like Miles Garrett, the reigning defensive player of the year for the Cleveland Browns on the other side of the team. So got a lot of talented players on both sides. And then when you look at the receiver core, Amari Cooper, and you got CeeDee Lamb on the other side. So that's going to be a great matchup to watch. Like Commanders and the Buccaneers, Rams and the Lions. Obviously, a lot of high expectations with the Rams and the Lions. That's going to be on Sunday Night Football. The Rams lead the series 45-42 and 1. They last met, obviously, in the wild card was a good game. Lions beating the Rams 24-23 in Detroit. Players to watch is Puka Nacua. He had his outstanding first season by catching 9 passes for NFL rookie postseason record 181 yards and a touchdown. In the loss to the Lions. He's going to be ready to go despite missing training camp with a knee injury. Lions player to watch obviously is Jameson Williams, wide receiver out of Alabama, the third-year player out of Alabama, has potentially become a breakout player. Definitely has the breakout speed. Um, we have plenty of opportunities as number 2 receiver behind L Pro Amon Ross St. Brown. Now, the matchup to keep your eyes on this matchup between the Lions and the Rams on Sunday night is keep your eyes on Rams offensive tackle Joe Noteboom against defensive end of the Lions Aiden Hutchinson. Noteboom will start at left tackle with starter Alaric Jackson serving a 2-game suspension for violating the personal conduct policy in the NFL. Noteboom has been more effective in his career as a swing tackle and spot starter, and the Rams will need him at his best against Hutchinson. He sacked Matthew Stafford twice in the field. Okay, the Rams have won 6 of 7 season openers under Sean McVay, but their 31-10 loss to Buffalo Bills in 2022. Coming off their Super Bowl title, obviously Aaron Donald retired in March. And he had 111 sacks, 154 games. He was a first-team All-Pro 8 times, 3-time AP Defensive Player of the Year. Nose tackle Kobe Turner had 9 sacks, first rookie to lead the Rams in that category in franchise history since sacks were first tracked in 1982. Detroit Lions won the NFC North last year, its first division title in 30 years, earned 2 playoff victories and 1 postseason, the first time since winning the NFL title in 1957. Obviously, the Lions could have went to the Super Bowl. They lost a 17-point lead in the second half, falling short of advancing to the Super Bowl. And they got Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery. They became the first teammates to have at least 1,000 yards from scrimmage, 10 touchdowns. Sam Laporta had 86 receptions, the most for a tight end rookie tight end in league history. Aiden Hutchinson has 4 career interceptions. That's the most by a defensive lineman in his first 2 seasons. And finally, we got the Jets and the 49ers. This is a great game right here. Big time game. Aaron Rodgers, can he stay healthy? That's the question with that. All right, so let's get into my picks of the week for the NFL. I get into my on this day in sports history for September 5th. Let's quickly get into the picks of the week. See, I'm gonna start the first game. I'm gonna go with the Giants over the Vikings. I just think that first game of the season, 100 season of the Giants. I just think that when it's all said and done, I like the Giants to get off to a good start. I don't think they're gonna make it to the playoffs, but I think they'll beat the Vikings. The key, they obviously got to take away Justin Jefferson, get pressure on Sam Darnold. But I like the Giants to beat the Vikings in the season opener at MetLife Stadium. So I'm going with the Giants over the Vikings. I got the Bills over the Cardinals. Yeah, I gotta go with Josh Allen over um, Kyler Murray. Even though the Bills don't have that many receivers, but I think Allen will find a way to carry the team, do what he gotta do to win. I think the Cardinals ready to win a game like this. So I got the Bills over the Cardinals. I got the Dolphins over the Jaguars. Dolphins over the Jaguars. Next, Texans over the Colts. High expectations, obviously, with the Texans. And I got the Cowboys over the Browns. So it's my 5 games a week. Start week 1, start the season. First Sunday in the NFL. So that was my top 5 picks of the week for week 1. We had halftime with the Chiefs and the Ravens very close. We're not surprised, but the Chiefs lead 13-10 at halftime. So the picks of the week. Let's go over that real quick before I get to the honest day in sports history for September the 5th. I have the Giants over the Vikings, Bills over the Cardinals, Dolphins over the Jaguars, the Texans over the Colts, and the Cowboys over the Browns. Giants, Bills, Dolphins, Texans, and Cowboys are my winners for week 1 of the 2024 season. That was my picks of the week. Giants over the Vikings, Bills over the Cardinals, Dolphins over the Jaguars, Texans over the Colts, and Cowboys over the Browns. Right, so let's get to on this date in sports history for September 5th. Let's get into it. September 5th. I'm not gonna give you all the events that took place. There's some that's really stood out to me. All right, we're gonna start with see on September 5th, 1913, the Phillies and the Braves tied record of only 1 run in a doubleheader. Phillies win first game 1-0, then a scoreless tie into 10th. September 5th, 1918, due to World War One, 15th Baseball World Series begins a month early. Boston Red Sox defeat Chicago Cubs 1-0 at Comiskey Park. On September 5th, 1921, Walter Johnson has set a Major League Baseball strikeout mark at 2,287. September 5th, 1946, Joe Garagiola played his first Major League Baseball game in his hometown of St. Louis with 2 RBIs driven in, and Cardinals win over Chicago Cubs. On September 5th, 1955, Dodger Don Newcomb hits National League pitcher record 7 home run of the season. September 5th, the Astros pitcher J.R. Richard debut was made, striking out 15 Giants in a 5-3 win. September 5th, 1977, Cleveland Indians staged first I Hate the Stinky Hanky night, inspired by local radio personality Pete Franklin. Home team sweeps a doubleheader over New York at Cleveland Municipal Stadium. September 5th, 1979, Oakland A's pitcher Matt Keogh beats Milwaukee Brewers 6-1, the first win after 14 straight losses, ending 1978 with 18 defeats, one shy of the Major League Baseball record 19. Okay, September 5th, 1994, San Francisco wide receiver Jerry Rice catches 2 touchdown passes, runs for another touchdown, and the 49ers 44-14 rout the Raiders as he surpassed Jim Brown as NFL's career touchdown leader with 127. September 5th, 1997, Orioles beat the Yankees 13-9 in longest nine-inning game. Right, so that's it, man. That's it for on this day in sports history for September 5th. Hope you enjoyed that. We definitely went over time. I'll be back next Thursday with another action-packed show. September 12th, be episode number 18. Now we got all the college football stuff in the NFL. So I gave you a lot with that. The Major League Baseball a recap, the book excerpts from the 101 memorable home runs book. They're going to continue to count down who had the number one memorable home run in baseball history. And also I did the college football picks of the week, recap of the NFL, preview of the games and stuff like that, stuff you need to know, and the picks of the week, and Honest Day in sports history. So I covered a lot today. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll be back next week. It's the first episode in the month of September. Check out an article that was recently posted to the website E5280 Sports in excuse me E5280sports.com. I wrote an article about the NFL preview and predictions. I'll get into that. You can get into that. Check out who I think is going to win the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be Detroit over Kansas City. That's what I think is going to win. I'll talk about that. So get into that, man. E5280sports.com. Get into that. Support the website with the article that is posted. That was posted. So get into that if you're interested. So that's it for the show. I'm gonna sign off. Hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Be back next week, next Thursday at 9 p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. Streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This show is going to be streaming live for Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle. So until then, talk to you next time, next Thursday night at 9 p.m. live on Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyles, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Until then, talk to you next time, next Thursday night. Good night.